The Atlas. Iconic, destructive, and most importantly, spooky looking. This battle mech is one of, if not the most recognizable mech in the entirety of Battletech, in or out of universe, you know? Now, I'm not sure about out of universe one, but maybe people know. Maybe? The mech with the skull face. Designed by the great Alexander Kerensky himself in the year 2755, the Atlas was built to be the most powerful mech yet at the time to ensure that the Star Elite Defense Forces will be able to keep an edge over the member states, particularly the Great Houses. With its thick armor, high destructive potential, and again, spooky looking head, the Atlas was certainly able to do what it was designed to do and gain a very well-earned, deadly, and respectable reputation. It is, by all accounts, the king of battle mechs. Just a sight of one will make any mech warrior to stop and rethink their life choices, which is 100% true. If I see an Atlas, a mech warrior, or in a Battletech, or in a mech HQ, I'm just like, hey, I shouldn't be here. Its imposing height and survivability makes the Atlas an ideal command mech. Being able to survey the battlefield while also striking off any shots taken allows any commander to calmly make the wisest call for their unit. When the Exodus happened, when the Kerensky took, his entire army basically into unknown space. Weirdly enough, a lot of Atlas pilots decided to stay behind. These pilots, they would go back to like native states because the SLDF isn't like a faction per se. It's more like it's like the UN kind of. So the pilots that pilots the Atlas, they would take the Atlas and go back to their native military, I guess, native nation, and continue service within their own militaries. The Atlas is also manufactured by a lot of factories. The production continues relatively smoothly, even through the succession wars that destroys a lot of things. Yeah? So due to that, the Atlas continues its service in the Hemisphere. Always being involved in every pivotal moment within like the Battletech timeline. And when the clans invaded, the Atlas was at the forefront in the defense of the Hemisphere, which is kind of, I think, ironic is the word, because it was designed by their forefather, Kerensky. So the Atlas is a 100-ton assault mech. It uses the Foundation Type 10X as its chassis, with 19 tons of Duralex special heavy armor plating attached. It is powered by a Velar 300 fusion engine, which gives it a top speed of 54 kilometers. Its communications and tracking systems are the Discom and Accuracy, which are both manufactured by Angst. Companies called Angst. The standard cooling system is done with 20 single heat sinks. And the mech also infamously features the spooky head, or the death head, which resembles a skull to strike fear within the enemies. The head is also, known to be quite roomy. It's an assault mech. It's big, right? You pilot on the right side of the mech actually, and the left side is like empty space. So you could theoretically put a bed there, theoretically. And it also has like a small satellite dish that you can use to talk to any like space forces. All right, it's time for the big thing, the big boy, the big moment of this video. The thing that took me so long to write down. This is not the thing that also took me a while. I had to go through all kinds of books and stuff to like find exact things. I think I got everything. Maybe. I hope I did. Anyway, let's start with the first one, which is weirdly enough called the AS7D. You think, D is like the fourth variant, but no, it's the first one. Hey, I don't know. I don't make the rules. It's just the way it is. It is what it is. This one has the Defiance Mech Hunter AC-20 on the right torso. Fun. It's got 10 shots in it. AC-20, if you don't know, it's a very big gun. And for certain mechs, they can actually one-shot you. Yeah, light mix. Don't get hit by a AC-20. You'll die. Then on the left side, you have a Farfire Maxi Rack LRM-20 with 12 shots. So I don't know if I've explained this, but the number in LRM after LRM indicates how many missiles it fires. So LRM-20 in a single shot, it will fire 20 missiles. If it's LRM-5, in a single shot, it will fire 5 missiles. Also on the left side is a Tharhas Maxi SRM-6 with 15 shots. On each arm, that's a Defiance B3M medium laser with 2 more mounted on the rear side of the center torso. This thing is a, what do you call that, a big heavy boy, so you can't, if you get flanked, you got these two to protect your rear. They're not going to do much, but it's something to kind of harass the flanker, I guess. This first production model will cost you about 9.6 million C-bills. There's also a sub-variant of this thing called the AS-7D DC, which removes a ton of LRM ammo, so you get like 6 shots instead. And the 2 rear lasers at the back as well got removed, so you can put a command deck can be put inside the head. So you have like pilot on one side and command deck on the other side. Command deck is a second seat for for the overall commander, I guess. So you can have like a pilot focus on shooting and everything, and then got the commander that be like can focus on commanding while also getting shot at. This one will cost you 10.4 million. Next one online is the Atlas C. This was introduced in 2830. This variant is created by this is a clan variant, I guess the first Atlas variant by the clans. Now in Sarna, it says that the Atlas C was created using captured atlases during the clan invasion, which doesn't really make any sense because the clan only invaded in the 3000s. This mech was introduced in 2830, or at least according to 2 sources, which is the MUL and the Mega Mech. I know those 2 aren't official things, but they use official information to in their things, I guess. So I got 2 sources saying 2830 against 1 that says that it was created during the invasion. So I'm gonna go with the 2831. So anyway, this variant, it replaces the AC-20 with an Ultra AC-20. An Ultra AC is basically it's not really a machine gun version, but it's kind of like a machine gun. It can fire, what do you call it? It can fire faster. They also have like a lighter round design, so it gives the round more velocity, so you can shoot faster and further. By faster, I think in game terms, I think you can shoot twice. I've never actually used an Ultra AC before. Yeah, I don't think I have. But anyway, the AC-20, the Ultra AC is loaded 15 shots. The LRM stays the same, but the SRM is upgraded to a Streak SRM. So again, Streak, it can't fire. It won't fire until you get a proper, what do you call that? Proper lock. All the ammo is stored inside a case compartment. All the medium lasers, they remain the same. The ones on the arms and the ones on the back. But they added like 6 more heat sinks because the engine was changed to a clan one. So, they have additional space. So they just put extra heat sinks just to, keep the mech cooled down, which is always good. The C will cost you about 10.4 million. So just about the same as the DC. There's like sub-variants of the C, I guess. There's the C2 and also the C3. The C2 debuted in 10 years later. And it replaces the Ultra AC with an LBX AC-20 with 5 shots of slugs and 5 shots of cluster 8. LBX is a AC cannon with a shotgun mode. The heat sinks were upgraded to 20 clan double heat sinks, so that's pretty good. The rear lasers are removed, and the remaining 2 on each arm, the ones on the arm, they were upgraded to an ER, not N, to ER large lasers. The LRM-20 was replaced with an ER PPC and 2 medium pulses. And the Streak SRM remains with 15 shots. And all ammunition is also inside case compartment. The C2 will cost you about 11.5 million. Then 2 years later, in 2842, the C3 was made. The arms ER large lasers, they stay the same. AC-20 is replaced with a Gauss rifle with like 16 shots. Now the gun itself, I think is inside inside a case compartment because for a Gauss rifle, right? If a Gauss rifle gets damaged, there's a chance it will blow up. And on the left side, all the weapons that were there, the missiles, they were all replaced with a single arrow for artillery missile launcher with 5 shots of normal missiles and 5 shots of homing missiles. Now, to put it simply, right, an Artemis missile is basically an AC-20, but a missile. Again, all the missiles are placed like case compartment, and to make space for these weapons, they had to remove 3 double heat sinks. This one will cost you 10.8 million. Back to the inner sphere, we have the AS7RS, the sport model, which was created in 2892. This one is just a weapon swap. The AC-20 was replaced with an AC-10 with 20 shots. The mediums on the torso, the ones at the back, were removed, and 2 large lasers replaced the ones on the arms. And on the left side torso, they put an LRM-15 with 16 shots. And they got an SRM-4 as well there with 24 shots. Everything else is the same as the D variant. This one will cost you 9.3 million. Then we finally got the AS7A. You think this would be the first one because it's in the letter A, but probably not. Introduced in 2954. Like the RS, this is just a weapon swap with D, really. On the right torso, they replaced the AC-20 with 5 SRM-6s with 60 shots in total. That's a lot of SRM-6s. That's a lot of missiles, actually. How much is that? 6 times 5 is 30. That's an SRM-30, basically. They removed the mediums on the rear, only keeping the ones on the arms. The LRM-20 on the left has been replaced with an LRM-10 with 12 shots, and they also put an AC-5 there with 20 shots. This one will cost you 9.5 million. Now, we move on to the K models. This is a combine upgrade of the Atlas. They first fielded it in 3050. That's 50 years. That's almost 100 years, actually. It took them 100 years to come out with a new model. Yeah, goddamn. Alright. The VLAR 300 fusion engine is swapped out with an XL version. So the same like model, I guess, of VLAR 30, but it's just an XL version of it. So instead of a Farfire model of RM20, this one uses a Shingunga model, which is just a local combine brand. It doesn't do anything, it's just breaking text, really. It's an RM20, it's just a different brand for in-universe reasons. Anyway, instead of an AC-20, you would get an Imperator Dragon's Fire Gauss rifle on the right side with all 16 shots stored in the right arm. How did the ammo move around though inside a battle mech? I've never really thought about that. I mean, the ones where the ammo is stored in the same place as the weapons, that's sure. It could be like a box or something. But what if like your ammo is in your arms and your weapons are on your torso? How does that work? Is that like an internal conveyor belt or something? How does it fire, man? But speaking of arms, each arm carries 1 Victory Nickel Alloy ER large lasers, with the left arm also having a Yori Fly Swatter AMS system. Yori Fly Swatter, I like that name. So the AMS have 12 shots, sorry. And all the other ammo, including Gauss rifle, is placed inside a case compartment. There's also 2 medium pulse lasers facing the rear of the torso. So again, to give you some way of protecting yourself if you get flanked. The first K model costs about 22.5 million. That thing just shot up in price. A century can do a lot to the price, huh? From 9 million to 22. But anyway, after the K, we get the C variant. No, that's not. This isn't the same as the earlier Clan Atlas C variant. No, this is a different one. This is the Innosphere C variant, right? The AS7C. The C in this is a combine built one, so I'm gonna assume the C means combine, maybe? I'm not really sure. introduced in the same year as the K. It's just this. It's just the same thing, with one medium pulse laser removed, so you only have one at the back, so that they can make way for a C3 slave computer. They also they put an extra heatsink as well, so it's 21 heatsinks. This one costs you 22.9 million. If you have a like a normal unit version, of course you will have a commander's version called the CM. Again, this is the same as the K1, but the large laser was removed. Or one large laser was removed on the left, so they could put a C3 computer, C3 master computer. This one will cost you 25.1. So next, we have a new letter, the S model, created by the Federated Commonwealth in the same year, 3050. The S means sport. No, it doesn't. The S is just a refit of the original D. The original 20 heat sinks are swapped out for 15 doubles. Two rear-facing Streak SRM2s were installed on the left torso of 50 shots. And that's one thing I find funny about this is the fact that the ammo, right, is placed on the inside the legs with 5 extra AC-20 shots as well. I don't know why anyone will put ammo inside the legs, because I feel like the legs are like the most vulnerable. Just saying, man. Like that's battle armor down there. Those things can rip you apart, dude. You put ammo down there, it's gonna blow your legs off. Just saying. Anyway, this one will cost you 9.9 million. When the Commonwealth broke apart, back to being Lyran and Davion houses, I guess. There were slight differences. Like they both used this one as like, I'm not sure if this is the most common model, but S's in each faction, each nation, they're different. So the Davions, they got like they got special bullets for the AC-20, which is like a, you know, that sniper bullet that can change the trajectory mid-flight? Yeah, it's that, but an AC-20 shell. While the Lyran's Atlas S's, they just have access to all kinds of missiles, so the LRMs and SRMs can just fire missiles, different kinds of missiles, basically, all kinds of different missiles. Now, return to the K. I'm not halfway done through this. That's still a lot. That's still a lot more. The KDC. This is the same this is the commander version, I guess, of the K. DC meaning dual cockpit, which means commander computer as well. But yeah, it's exactly the same as a normal K, except they got rid of one of the rear pulse lasers and 6 shots of LRM-20s, so a ton of LRM-20 ammo, so they could put a command console on the head. This one will put you back 23.3 million. Going back to the S. Yippee. The S2, introduced in 3061 by the Lyran Alliance during the Fatcom Civil War. The Velar engine is swapped out for a lighter version, the Velar 300 Light. Same engine, but lighter. The Gauss rifle on the right is replaced with a heavy version inside a case compartment, with 12 shots stored in the legs. Now, this is fine, I guess, because the Gauss rifle just shoots metal beads, I guess. Like metal. It doesn't blow up, so even if you get a critical hit on the legs and it hits the ammo, I don't think it will do anything. At least it won't blow up, at least. So a heavy Gauss is just, you know, a stronger Gauss. On the left torso, you get an LRM-15 with Artemis, 16 shots inside, also inside case. There's also a Guardian ECM unit on the left torso too, so you can jam people. The medium lasers on the left, on both arms, sorry, were replaced with ER large, and they also managed to install an extra double heat sink. So this one will cost you 19.3. Then a year later, in 3062, they made the S3. They went back to the normal Gauss rifle with 16 shots. They put a PPC and a small laser on both arms, with the left also having an AMS system with 12 shots. They had to delete 2 double heat sinks to put these on though, so. But yeah, the rest of the mech is the same as the S2. This one will cost you 19.1 million. It's cheaper, slightly. There's also the DC variant of the S3 as well, and again, they make space to put a command console in the head. The DC variant of the S3 just remove like the small lasers on the arms, and the ECM as well, so they can put the command console in the head. This one will cost you 19.6 million. Sorry, but wait, there's more. I think I'm about halfway now. We're going back to the original D variant for the DR variant. This is just a field refit, the Lyran field refit to bring any old Ds they still have running around to the current level of technology, I guess, capability. So this appeared after the Jihad in the year of our Lord and Savior of 3070. Is that how you use that term? I don't know. It appeared in 3070. First appeared in 3070. The DR has 22 single heat sinks to cool off a heavy PPC on right torso. There's still the 4 medium lasers are, as the original D is, still there. You got 2 on each arm and 2 facing backwards. You got LRM 20 with 12 shots, same thing. And a Streak SRM 6 with 15 shots, that's different. They also mounted a C3 slave computer and a Guardian ECM. This refit will bring the total price to 10.5. So, a D is like 9. I forget the number already, 9.2, 9.6, right? So, totaling the amount of extra equipment they put in the in this DR variant, you get 10.5. Next is the AS8, not the 7, but the 8D, a new number. What does that mean? It means it's new. That's what it means. This is a prototype that entered limited production after the Jihad in the year 3074. They replace the AC-20 on the torso with MML-9, of all things, and an ER small laser. There's another MML-9 on the left side of the torso with a rotary AC-5, as well as another small ER laser. So a rotary AC-5 is a minigun, a Gatling gun version of the AC-5, so yeah. The rotary has 60 shots, and the MML-9s, they both have 13 shots of LRMs and 10 shots of SRMs. All neatly placed inside a case compartment on the right torso. On the arms, they put a light PPC on each, and they also put a snub nose on the center torso. And because you can never have enough firepower, they put 2 small lasers on each leg too. They also put a triple strength memory system as well. So this boosts the mech when the TCM is on. The mech can move to about 64 kilometers per hour. And to attempt to cool all these down, the mech is given 14 double heat sinks. All in all, this mech is priced at 13.3 million. Going back to the K. We're back to the K. Hey, why is there so much? Why are so many K variants? The K2. The K2 was not made by the Combine, like the first one. The first K was made by Combine. This one's not made by Combine. It's made by the Lyrans. They really love this mech, don't they, the Lyrans? How many variants do they have? Introduced in 3082, the Lyrans upgraded the engine to a 400 XL model, which pushes the top speed to 65 kilometers, so the same as the 300 with TCM. But you don't have to have a TCM for this one. TSM even, not TCM, sorry. The mech is covered in 16.5 tons of ferrofibrous armor. So, slightly stronger and also lighter compared to standard armor. And carries a Gauss rifle. Not on the right, but the left side of the torso, which is arguably the wrong side. They also put a guided technology 2nd generation Streak SRM 6, which is just a Streak SRM 6, on both sides of the torso as well. The Gauss can fire 16 times, while the SRMs can fire 30 times. And all the ammunition is stored inside a case compartment on the right side of the torso. The arms are equipped with ER large lasers, and a Guardian ECM is placed inside the middle. 10 double heat sinks are used for cooling. K2 totals up to 28.8. Just shot up again. Then a year later, they've done made a flying atlas.
They fly now? They fly now!
I believe that's like a saying or a quote regarding a flying atlas. I don't know if it's this one, but I think it is. The K3 is basically the K2, but with 1 ton of extra armor, and they removed the SRM-6s and put 3 jump jets and a street SRM-4 on the right side. The jump jets give the mech a jumping distance of about 90 meters. They also moved the Gauss rifle back to the arguably correct side of the mech and move all the ammunition and the ECM unit to the left. This one will cost you 28.7 million. And then the next generation K, the K4, the latest version of a K. This appeared in the year of 3098, and it's similar to the K2. It has 16.5 tons of ferrofibers armor. The Gauss rifle on the left was replaced with a rotary AC5 with 60 shots. You got 2 SRM-6s on each side of the torso that can shoot 30 shots, and 2 PPCs on the arms, on each arms, and a Guardian ECM in the center. All the ammunition is again inside case compartment on the right side. This one will cost you 28.9 million. Going back to the sport model, the S model. Hey, the S4 is also known as the spooky version because it can turn invisible. No, it can't. It's got stealth armor. That's it. That's all. I mean, that's technically invisible, right? Not really. Made by Defiance Industries, which is a Lyran company, so this is a Lyran mech. In the year 3109, the S4 features a Gauss rifle with 16 shots on the right torso inside a case 2 and 2 X-Pulse mediums on the left torso, and that's it. 2 weapons. Of course, with stealth armor, a Guardian ECM is installed on the left torso, and they were able to fit 17 double heat sinks. They also replaced the gyro with a compact gyro, and all in all, this the S4 will cost you 14.3 million. I think that's a pretty good price. I mean, you only have like 3 weapons, but it's a stealth atlas. That's pretty spooky. You know, you're just walking around, suddenly there's an atlas next to you. Next model is also an S model, but it's from the AS8 line of atlases. So this is like a prototype atlas that they gave the sport treatment. Now, the exact date for this one, I have no idea when it came out, because in Sarna, it said that this mech came out in 3138, which is kind of confusing, because apparently this one is based off the AS8K, which only comes out 2 years later. So I don't know what's the exact year, I guess, that this model came out. Again, built by the Lyrans. Of course, it's an atlas. Of course, everything's an atlas in Lyran space, I guess. The S mounts a Defiance Annihilator improved heavy Gauss that takes up space on the center and left side of the torso, which I did not know was possible. Like, bits of the weapon is, it's in the middle and on the left side of the torso. It's a big gun. Improved heavy Gauss basically means that a heavy Gauss, it's a bigger version of the Gauss, so it does more damage. However, the improved one does consistent damage, because the normal one you have like variable damage, I guess. This one is consistent damage. Anyway, it's got 16 shots short in the legs and an additional 4 in the head. I also have some on the left torso as well, totaling up to 24 shots. That's a pretty big number. Hey. The rifle is encased in a Clan Case 2 compartment, because again, Gauss rifle, if you damage it, there's a chance it'll blow up. And in game terms, it will deal the same amount of damage as a blown AC-20 ammo compartment. There are 2 Clan ER medium lasers on each side of the torso pointing backwards. And on each arm, there's an ER large laser on each arm. And on the left torso, a Clan LRM-15 with 24 shots. And a Streak SRM-6 with 15 shots. And all the ammo is stored inside a Case 2 compartment as well. Other improvements include a Guardium ECM on the left torso, an XL gyro, and 16 double heat sinks. This one will cost you 26.4. Yeah, getting up there in terms of price. Next one's even more expensive. Okay, now we move on to the AS8K, the one apparently the S was based off. I don't know. Introduced 2 years later, again, in the year 3140. Possibly with a Combine, maybe? The K model is covered in 26 tons of ballistic reinforced armor. So this armor is a lot more durable towards ballistics, towards cannons and missiles. And from how it's described, it's basically, you know those like the T90 tanks, you know? With the ERA and the cage armor. From how it's described, I think that's how it looks like. So this is a Atlas with ERA slapped over it and a cage somewhere on top of the head, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, it uses an XL engine, and the gyro has been replaced with a heavy-duty one, which is just an armored gyro. And it features 14 double heat sinks. For weapons, on the right side, you get a Gauss rifle inside a Case 2 with 16 shots stored inside the right arm, a Streak SRM-6 with 15 shots, and an MML-5 launcher with 20 shots of SRMs and 24 shots of LRM, all tucked inside a Case compartment, Case 2 compartment even. But other than that, you get an ER large laser on each arm, as per usual, and 2 ER mediums pointing backwards on the center torso. This one will cost you 28.5. Is this the most expensive one? I think it is. Hey, that's a lot of money. Finally, we get the latest Canon standard model, I guess. The KE, also introduced in 3140. This is the export version of the AS8K. It's largely the same, but without the XL engine, the Streak SRMs, and the rear lasers, and 2 double heat sinks. This one is almost half the price at 15.5. The leading, I guess the XL engine takes up the most money, I guess, in terms of the cost, I guess, the price. Because this one's like literally almost half price of the original AS8K, which is kind of weird. Now that's done, move on to the less Canon variants. And by less Canon, I mean we don't know if this is Canon or not. But anyway, first we have the Atlas piloted by Colonel David Renard. This one was featured in Mech Commander 2, I think. I've played the game before, but I never completed it. But anyway, his Atlas is equipped with 2 ER PPCs, probably on the arms, maybe, and a Gauss rifle. It also has jump jets installed, so it could be a modified K3. Next, we have the AC-7BH Boar's Head from MechWarrior Online. This was piloted by a Rodney Van Cleven of the 6th Certus Fusiliers. It has a 400 XL engine that pushes the mech to a top speed of 64. Its chassis is a endosteel one, and it's got 3 medium pulses on each arm, with an AC-10 on the right torso with about 20 shots, and an LRM-10 with about 24 shots. And then we have the AS-7KR Kraken, which is apparently a Solaris mech. Solaris games are just mech gladiator games. You know, they put them in the arena and they just fight each other. This one seems to use their K, the original K as the base. It's largely the same, except for the 2 medium lasers that replace the medium pulse lasers that face backwards. And now, finally, we have the P. So if you remember the Vindicator video, there's also like a Vindicator P variant, which, you know, they got rid of something so they can put it, so they can have the mech carry an axe. Same deal here. They took the standard D variant, right, and then switched some things around so that the mech can carry a huge axe on the left arm. They moved the left medium laser to the right arm, so you have 2 lasers there. And the LRM-20 got swapped for a lighter LRM-15 with 16 shots, and the SRM-6 was removed. And again, you got a gigantic axe on the left arm. There's also the Atlas II and Atlas III. I mean, this is canon. This is not like less canon. This is actual canon. And there's also the Akuma, which is like a, what do you call that? A combined copy, I guess, of the Atlas. But I'm gonna do this later on their own videos, because it's going on for too long. This is a long video, man. But anyway, customs. First, we have the AS7 WGS Atlas Samsonov. This is piloted by a combined mech warrior, Greek Samsonov. I think he uses the D, like the original D, as a base. This one deletes every weapon except for the AC-20, and he puts a PPC on each arm. So this is only 3 weapons. Any remaining space left was filled with 6 additional heatsinks. Next, we have the Atlas 7D Danielle, piloted by Captain Danielle Rondima, I think, of the Wolves of Groons. Her custom is equipped with 22 heatsinks and 3 mediums on each arm. I think she got 2 of those lasers from the rear mounted ones because those are gone. The SRM-6 was also deleted, while the LRM-20 and AC-20 were kept. Next, we have the AS700 Atlas Jern, named after 00 Gundam. Probably. This one was piloted by a presenter, Anton Jern, of the Outwards Alliance. I can't say I know much about these guys, but their symbol looks familiar. The 00 uses the original K as its base, so you get an XL engine with 16 double heatsinks. It also has an armored command console inside the cockpit too, which I didn't even know you could do that, but you can. Like you can put like the armored tag on certain parts of your mech, and they take more damage, and yeah, they can take more damage. On the right, Jern managed to put 2 there. You have the primary weapon, a hypervelocity AC-10 with 16 shots. So again, hypervelocity just means it shoots very far. And you also get a snub-nosed PPC. On each arm, you have a light PPC. On the right torso, you get a Thunderbolt 15 launcher, which doesn't blow up when it hits. I think that's how I read it. But anyway, he gets 9 shots of this missile. And they're all stored inside a K2 compartment, along with the AC assault cannon ammo. On the center torso, there is an active bagel probe, and which is the simplest way for me to describe it is that it is a more powerful radar that can detect basically everything. Other than that, there are remote sensor dispensers on each legs, which deploy sensors that basically function like a trail camera. So, as you walk, you can deploy some of these things, and they just stay there. And when somebody, what do you call that? Someone walks over that sensor, it'll light up, and then you'll get a ping on your computer or something. Next, we have the Atlas A7K2 Jedra, piloted by someone called Lord Jedra Keen of Vega, who was a warlord on the planet Vega before Clan Ghost Bear came in. His mech has a 400 XL engine, so that means he can move up to 64 km per hour, and 12 double heatsinks. The mech also has 16.5 tons of ferrofibrous armor. For weapons, Jedra equipped his mech with 2 light Gauss rifles, with a total of 32 shots stored on each side of the torso, 1 on each arm. And on both sides of the torso, you have 4 ER, so you got a pair on each side, and also 1 in the middle. Mediums, and 2 SRM-4s with 50 shots stored inside case. And then we have an Atlas D, piloted by someone called Vail Uthrex. Now, this guy and mech only appear in a short story, in like in one of the magazines. So there's no like TRO or record sheets for this one. But it's been described as an Atlas D with the LRM-20 removed for an additional SRM-6 with more ammo. He also added some more heat sinks to it. And now, finally, we have the AS-7S Atlas Hansen, piloted by Lieutenant Hansen Manstoder. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Again, this one doesn't have a sheet or anything. The only like defined unique thing this mech has is that the fact it's got a tag laser on it. A tag laser is just a laser designated for like for missiles. Oh my god, okay, finally we can move on to the pilots, and there's there's many of them too. Oh god. Okay, so anyway, the Atlas is, and it's an important mech, right? It's important, it's popular, that means there's a lot of important characters that also use this mech. I'm just gonna briefly go over them. I'm not gonna go too deep into them because I think this video is gonna come up like in an hour or something, maybe near the hour. There's so much information. There's just so much information. But anyway, let's go. Let's start simple and let's go through the pilots that piloted the customs that I mentioned before first. First, we start off with Warlord Greek Samsonov of the 5th Galadon Regulars. This handsome man was the warlord of the Galadon military district in the Draconis Combine. He was personally appointed to that position by the coordinator of that time, Takashi Kurita. Greek was a good military administrator, so he's a good principal, sure, I guess. He's good at he's good at managing stuff. And he's also one mischievous schemer. His most like infamous scheme, his conspiracy, I guess, was him trying to discredit the Wolves Dragoon, you know, the totally not clan mercenary unit, so that no one will hire them except for the Combine. Long story short, shenanigan was discovered, and he got oofed. He got oofed. Next, we have Captain Danielle Rondima of the Wolves Dragoons. Danielle lived, or no, she existed in the time where Greek's whole like shenanigan was happening. When the Wolves tried to get out of the contract, right? They were on the planet Misery, and there the DCMS sent forces to teach them a lesson, I guess. And the goons were like paid to like train up a unit using their tactics, and these guys are called the Ryuken, and they were sent there to take care of them as well. So it's kind of like a weird apprentice, a student versus master kind of situation. There, she managed to destroy 2 Ryuken companies, full companies, back to back with minimal damage to her own company, Randima's Roughnecks. Moving on, we have Presenter Anton Jern of the Outwards Alliance. There's actually not much information about him, other than the fact that he is the grandson of Uriah Jern. I have no idea who that guy is too. That, and he also wanted his custom to enter some kind of limited production. Then we have Lord Jedra Keen of Vega. Keen was a vegan militia before turning into a criminal lord. This happened when the HPG networks went dark. HPG is the internet, basically. The internet went down, the space internet went down, everybody got cut off from each other. But anyway, the HPG networks went dark, and after the Combine decided to invade the planet. They failed an invasion, but they did enough damage to shatter like any remaining form of order left on the planet, like any like police forces or planetary government. They destroyed them. So now it was just a bunch of roving bands of people, you know, military arms just fighting each other for control and power, I guess. So after Keen took out the other competition, right, the other warlords, I guess, he and his underlings carried out random purges on the local populace. This is so that they can just take out anything they perceive as a threat to their power, I guess. His reign of terror finally ended when the clan Ghost Bear came on and took the planet from them. Then we have Vail Unthrex. Vail was a Solaris fighter, and he fought someone called either Trevor or Trev R, where he lost the match. Trevor or Trev R said that he would recommend Vail to his old posting at the 2nd St. Ives Lancers, so this Trevor person was a former military guy before becoming a Solaris gladiator. But anyway, he would recommend Vail to join that military unit if Vail met him at a dropship. We have no idea if he took the offer or not. Next up, we have Lieutenant Hansen Manstodir of the Kung's Army, the army of the Free Rasalhague Republic. He also happens to be the son of the chief of staff of the army, so he was constantly being accused of nepotism, I guess. Before the clan invaded, he was well known to take on pirates and raiders with his assault lance. And by the time the clan came, he was promoted to captain already and had a successful campaign against Clan Wolf. Later on, he would be promoted to Overste Lieutenant. I have no idea if I'm saying this correctly. Within the elite first tier regiment. Don't know what happened to him or to his regiment after they got absorbed into the Rasalhague Dominion. Next up is Major Joel Agi of the Magistry of Canopus. Which unit is he from exactly? I have no idea. Doesn't say. Apparently, the Atlas is rare within the Magistry, but it turns out that Joel here is one of the few that pilots an Atlas. Major Agi has been described as a sharp tactician, which allowed him to climb through the ranks of the Canopus military ranks, despite the fact that he is a man. So if you don't know, the Magistry of Canopus is a matriarchal society. So yeah, women they control, they take up the majority of the power base, I guess. But anyway, Agi here, he is actually a popular character within, or popular person, I guess, within Canopian society, because he has made a bunch of media appearances and apparently also has an action figure line. All the profits he got from those two revenue streams, I guess, he invested them into the medical industry, which ballooned up his profits even more, because the Magistry is known for their what do you call that, for their medical industry. But yeah, from all the revenue he's got from, you know, the TV action figures and his investments, he used up all that money to restore his Atlas K. Next, we have a Steiner, Rudiger Steiner, who was the commanding officer of the Irregulars. Rudiger is famously known to have saved his sister Claudia from a bunch of pirates. How a bunch of pirates kidnapped a Steiner, I have no idea. Anyway, keeping within the Steiner family, we have Rolf Christian Steiner. Apparently, he is considered a hero to the people of Loxley, but to his political opponents, however, he's a joke. If anybody challenge him, like any political challenges, any opposition to him in a political front, and he'll just like straight up just issue a mech duel challenge to them to fight things out as like to quote unquote fight things out as real Lyrans. His record is 1-7, and the only win he got was due to the fact that the guy he challenged died of old age. The others were no-shows from him, because apparently his Atlas is in a constant state of disrepair. Alright, from Steiner, let's go to their rival, I guess, the Davions. Here we have Prince Ian Davion, the older brother of Hans Davion. He was more of a warrior than a statesman, so he didn't have any time for prince stuff. He didn't have a wife, he didn't take a wife, he didn't have any kids, he's just there to fight. He died while holding off Yorinaga Kurita and his second Sword of Light, the same one that failed the gladiator centuries ago, while his men escaped. Running time back to the Star League days, we have General Aaron de Chevalier. He was Kerensky's second in command in the entire SLDF, and during the Amari's coup, the Chevalier stormed the walls of the final Amari stronghold with his atlas. Next up, we have Hauptmann General Kathleen Heaney. She was originally a regimental commander within the Lyran Guard, one of the original units formed in Lyran history, actually. When the Lyrans and the Suns formed the Commonwealth, Kathleen refused to learn any and all Davion tactics, sticking to the old Lyran ways of fighting. This stubbornness has led many Davion officers and soldiers to either request for transfer or to just chastise her for her incompetence. Quote-unquote incompetence. Alright, let's move on. We have next, Presenter Marital Anastius Fock. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. It's a German name. German names are kind of weird sometimes. He was actually born as Steiner, Frederick Steiner, who people thought have died during an attack on the Combine. His quote-unquote sacrifice did prevent the DCMS from attacking the Lyrans later on, though. Frederick was actually captured and was given to the Comstar, which was like the Comstar is basically like you think of them as like the Brotherhood of Steel or the what do you call it, the Adeptus Mechanicus from Warhammer. They're the knowledge and technology crazy faction, basically. I mean, they're there to, like, you know, make sure things are going extinct, which is a good thing, until it wasn't. But anyway, when he was given to Comstar, who was reintroduced to the world as Anastius Foch, he was he was very important in the clan invasions because he's actually one of the reasons why the Innisphere won in that war, I guess. But he inadvertently caused the jihad, though, because people did not approve, or some people did not approve of his leadership of Comstar. Next, we have Liam Miguel Loyola. We have no idea who he is. We have no idea where he's from. The only thing we know about him is the fact that he fought off an entire bandit force on his own, and after he was done, he shut down his mech and just went to sleep. Later on, a small religious community found him inside his mech, right? And they took him out and, you know, treated his injuries. When he woke up, he doesn't remember anything. And just decided to become the protector of this small religious community. Okay, next we have Lieutenant Richard West II of House West. His family is actually one of the first settlers of the planet of New Avalon, the capital of the Pet Sons. And during the Fatcom Civil War, he led the assault that liberated his hometown from Steiner forces. And then we have James Andrew, I think. It's a weird way to spell Andrew, but I think it spells Andrew. He was a lieutenant within the Federated Sons. One day, he was ordered to execute a bunch of Blake's prisoners. He refused the order and got arrested for insubordination. But his buddies later on broke him out of the prison, and they all took off with their mechs. They stole their military assigned mechs and took off, fled off-world. They worked as mercenaries until they broke up because of money. James then worked as a single mech for hire, I guess, and he used any money he could spare to fix up his atlas. Moving on, we have Knight Duncan Kalma, a former degenerate gambling mercenary. After rescuing his father, who was a former intelligence director, from getting picked up by a Blake's team, he led his unit, Duncan's Demons, on a guerrilla campaign against the Jihad in the Free Worlds League. After his dad died, he just vanished. Poof. Speaking of mercenaries, here is Commander Sean Armstrong. He was the chairman of his family's company, Austin Armstrong Industries. The company went through a tumultuous decade, to say the least, losing multiple factories to the clan. The other board members lost confidence and ousted him off his own company. So Armstrong used his family name and the wealth he built up he had because he owned a company basically. All the wealth and the family name, he used that to build up an atlas and approach other mercenary units to offer his services to them. It was last seen building up a command structure, the command structure of the Balding Eagles unit. We got Clananex, Sahan Yael Labov of Sea Fox, the same clan that made the SF, the Gladiator 9 SF and the 7 SF. Anytime I get to mention the Gladiator, I'm gonna mention it, okay? Because I want that mech to be popular. So it'll be put in games and whatever, right? That mech needs to be popular. Please, let's make the Gladiator a popular mech. But anyway, during an Amaterasu attack, Amaterasu is like a Amazonian unit within it was originally from the Republic of Sphere, but they defected to the DCMS, so this is like an Amazonian DCMS unit. Yeah, Amazon Samurai, I guess. But anyway, while this attack was happening, she got bonked in the head, or a crane bonked her mech in the head, which put her out of commission for a couple weeks. She, when she was cleared to go back, she just kind of stood there, just watched, the fight happening, until the final assault on the capital of the planet, in the capital building or city of the planet, where she would save Exarch Damien Redburn, second Exarch of the Republic of Sphere. Right, here's another one, another clanner, Captain Jeremy West. He's not related to the Richard West of House West just now. He was born to a wolf father and a Nova cat mother. There's really nothing of note to this guy. He was torn about his lineage, apparently, and then he joined the Wolf Dragoons using an atlas he found that apparently was piloted by an ancestor. And now he's just trying to, make it a name for himself. Next, we have Derek Hasbani. Apparently, he is piloting one of the oldest still functioning atlases out there. His mech is like 3 centuries old, apparently. The planet his family lived on was given to the Republic of Sphere by the Dabians, where the Exarch, Delvin Stone, asked his family to basically decommission their mech force. They said no, and nothing happened. The Republic then forced them anything. They'd just be like, okay, we tried. Later, the Combine tried to recruit him into the DCMS, but he joined the Davion Guards instead. And now we have Ariabi Childs. When she was young, she dreamed of becoming a mech warrior. Then the HPG networks fell. Again, space Wi-Fi fell. She joined up with the Northwind Fusiliers, a unit within the Northwind Highlanders, where she would gain the command of the few assault mechs they had, so in this case an Atlas. She is known as an advocate for the Highlanders to return to their roots and become a mercenary unit again, which they eventually did, like the decades later. In combat, apparently she's quite restrained in her tactics. The the Northwind Highlanders, they were a mercenary unit, but then they got kind of absorbed into not really absorbed, they kind of became like an official state military for a moment. The Republic fell later on, and then they just went back to the mercenary, becoming mercenary again. Up next is Exarch Jonah Levin, the third Exarch. He was originally one of the 18 paladins of the Exarch Council before he became an Exarch himself. He's done a lot of things, but the one thing I found the coolest is during Operation Aftershock. It's a anti-pirate campaign on the planet Kerville. He assaulted the pirates' main base, but beach assault of his Atlas. So he came out of the water with his Atlas. Just imagine that. Like, you're just shooting, security forces or whatever. And the next thing you see is a skull face just rising from the water, coming at you. That's kind of spooky, man. Then we have Michaela Freeman. Suspected to be part of the Lyran Intelligence Corps, she pilots a captured Blake Atlas and apparently is very good at shooting guns. Next up is another mercenary, One-Eyed Jack Farrell. He lost his eye to a lover, but that did not stop him becoming a mech warrior. A good one. He worked at many different mercenary commands before forming his own Cyclops company even. Hey. And right now he's got bounty on his head, probably posted by the same ex. Fun guy. Now we have Chu-E Michael Isu, a combine warrior who was involved in the Yakuza. That's it. And next we have General Frederick Hogarth. Apparently he's not well liked by some other officers because they make fun of him when he's not around. When Clan Jade Falcon interrupted an anniversary celebration of the formation of the Donegal Guards, he was seen kicking a Loki over and over again. The Loki was already dead. And then we have Margrave of Ark Royal Theatre Thomas Hogarth. That is his full title. I don't know if they're directly related. Maybe they are. He's technically a war criminal, this one, because when the Coalition invaded Terra to recapture it from the word of Blake, he just kind of let his troops loose. Like, he just ordered his troops to, like, round up anyone they suspect is a Blakist and had them oofed. He was tried for all this, but he got off scot-free because the people, you know, in charge of the court, I guess, they did not like the Blakeists, to say the least. So they just kind of be like, we know you probably did all this, but what you did led to the defeat of the Blakeists, so that's cool by us. Alright, back to the DCMS. Like, how many more do we have, dude? Oh, we have Warlord Vasily Cherenkov, a described competent but not particularly innovative commander who was loyal to Takashi Kurita. During the Ronin War, the Ronin War is like a mini civil war, I guess, between traditionalist DCMS forces, you know, the whole samurai thing, and a more reformed, I guess, reformed samurai. But anyway, Cherenkov was assassinated by his aide. His Alice's head blew up while he was piloting it. Next, we have the leader of the Tamar Pact, a region within Lyran Commonwealth, Selvin Kelswa. His family ruled this section of space for centuries, you know, and when he was young, he dreamt about to fully restore the Tamar Pact's original borders because some of the worlds were captured by the Combine. Eventually, the planets were liberated by the Lyrans, but those same planets had already adopted their own identity, which led to the formation of the Free Rasalkit Republic, which was recognized by both the Lyrans and the Combine. Kelswa refused to accept this and stationed mercenary units on involved planets, I guess planets that he wanted within the Tamar Pact, to block them from joining the Republic. His actions led to the death of many civilians, because mercenaries. But he was later punished by the bigger powers, you know, the Davions and the Lyrans. Not the Davions, the Kuritans, with higher taxes. Kill civilians, get more taxes. He would die later on when the clans invaded the Tamar region. So next up is a pretty important character. I'm not gonna go too deep into him because that's a lot. Nicholas Kerensky, the son of Alexander Kerensky himself, the guy that made the clan. Apparently, he doesn't have the soundest mind, and he may have killed his own brother. Allegedly. Next up, another big one. Delvin Stone, the first exarch of the Republic of Sphere. Long story short, he led the coalition that finally defeated the Word of Blake. He also died at the age of 108 years old. He got killed by a pillow. Final three. We're at the final three. Final three. Let's do it. Come on. Here we have the presenter, Bishor Yekel of the Comms Guard, the military arm of Comstar. He was the commanding officer of the 6th Division, which was an experienced unit. I guess they have never seen action. In the Battle of Tukayid, he decided to put it simply, shit talk Clan Steel Viper. Right? He used his Atlas's satellite dish to broadcast the message system wide, and that was a bad move because the Steel Viper killed his entire army. Like the entire 6th division gone. He survived, barely. Next, we have Captain Kevin Street of this first Kearney Highlanders. He's just a mercenary wanting to retire, that's all. And finally, we have Rodney Van Cleven, the guy I mentioned earlier. He's a Fetson mech warrior. He piloted this thing. He's a nice man. People like him, but apparently he keeps overheating his mech. And that's it. That is the Atlas. My god, that was tiring. You probably heard. You probably hear and, you know, listen to, I guess, to the script, and to just from me reading this, I was getting tired. It was the end. Towards the end there, I just wanted it over. But yeah, Atlas. This was like my childhood mech, man. Like every time I play like a mech warrior game, you know, mech warrior 4 mercenaries, Atlas was the thing. I was, you know, I wanted, and I did get it. And I forget which Atlas I got, but I remember having a PPC. I also remember. Wait, did I use the Atlas at the final mission? I did a death from above in that game. It's possible, weirdly enough. I jumped up. I wasn't even aiming for that guy. I jumped over a wall. I didn't know there was a guy behind the wall. And I landed on his head, which knocked him down actually. And then we just finished him off. But yeah, Atlas, childhood mech. Every time I play Battletech, whatever, anything, you know, Battletech. If I imagine myself piloting a mech, it was the Atlas. Then I grew out of it because I don't know. I just did. It's still a spooky mech though. It really is. I would definitely have one in a unit somewhere, maybe. But yeah, that's that. I don't know what else I want to add though. Really don't. I guess, you know, I got Twitch. Want to watch me stream games? I do that every weekdays. Hey, what do you call that? So got Discord. Come on in there. Let's chat. Hey, let's chat. Let's expand the topics we chat there. It's Battletech as well. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I don't think I got anything else I want to say really. So until next time, until the next lore video, I do not know when that will be, but it's definitely gonna be a popular mech. Maybe, because if a popular mech, if it's another popular mech, it's gonna take this long for me to it's gonna be a long video, man. It's gonna be so tiring, so tiring. But yeah, until next lore video, lore viewers, take care, and I'll see every one of you next time. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.